My wife and I have been married for 13 years, and we have three small children under the age of 8. A couple years ago, she abused her prescribed Adderall, and the withdrawals caused her to lose her job in the same month. She told me what happened. She initially blamed her withdrawal symptoms on her severe anemia, and we worked through it to find her a new job and regulate her medicine. I would control the supply and the distribution of the pills. This seemed to work for about a year and a half until I noticed random charges at a so-called nutrition store locally for $80 at a time. I asked her about it and was told it was a case of energy drinks that she kept at work. I later found out it was bottles of stuff that's called Nitropix that contains, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, tiapentine. It is referred to as gas station heroin. I immediately confronted her and she broke down saying she would stop and she knew it was bad. Fast forward 6 to 7 months later. She calls me saying she is having issues breathing and is shaking violently. Her coworker drives her home and she lies over and over until I get the truth that the nutrition store is no longer selling those pills and she took 60 stacker 2 pills at a time. I got her family involved and she accepted going into inpatient rehab. I then found out that she had been getting and maxing out credit cards in her name behind my back all this time to buy those pills to the sum of $20K in about a year. I told her we would work through it and just to get herself clean and see a professional. For the first weekend, she would text daily and call the kids on the weekend via Zoom to talk. All was fine as far as I knew. The second week was the first family therapy session, and I went in person. It was a half an hour of her telling me how shitty I was in our marriage. I was flabbergasted. She wouldn't even look at me the whole time and had her back to me. 3 days later, she switched her payroll direct deposit to Venmo account without my knowledge and asked for her Venmo card so she could send money. Right after I did, she said she wanted us to separate and work on ourselves and then our marriage. I knew from the start it was horseshit, but no one would believe me. I called her therapist repeatedly and was ignored. A couple of days later, I was told that I was removed as her contact and I could not communicate with her any longer. This shit hurt. I had no idea why. No answers, and everyone said I was being unstable because I wouldn't let it go. We've been married 13 years, and I know something is wrong. I joined a few therapy groups for families and was told to watch out for 13th step. Once I Googled that, it almost drove me mad. I started checking her phone records and saw numbers that I didn't recognize, so I called them. One of them was a guy she had met in rehab. He told me everything. He said they had been flirting constantly and sending nude photos all the time. He also said they hooked up once before he left. I asked him to send me the text and he did, all 50 pages of text. I asked her if she cheated and I was called a piece of shit for accusing her of infidelity after 13 years. I then sent one of the nude photos she sent him and then disconnected her phone. To make matters worse, I tried to let the rehab center know what was going on and they said we have no control over what she decides to do romantically and then tried to report me as an unstable to the state. What a crock of shit. Aren't they supposed to ward under their care? Men and women are supposed to be separated according to their intake pamphlet. She hasn't called or asked about her kids in 3 weeks. I sincerely think her brain is fucked up. I don't know what to do because I don't think I could ever forgive her for this. She sent me a random letter in the mail the other day that stated she blames me for her addiction and that I should have gotten her help sooner. She says that I only benefited from her addiction. Like filing bankruptcy is at the top of my fucking list. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm ranting. I feel like the whole story is needed. Thanks. There's really not much to say here. Unfortunately, I myself have been in a similar situation, so I'll leave you with this. Trust your gut. Do not ignore obvious red flags out of what you believe to be is love. Once it reaches a stage, it's more about convenience. Nobody wants to have their life turned upside down. Nobody wants to start over. But you can do it. Time to focus on what's important. Shift that energy to your children. At this point, he can't help his wife unless she wants to be helped. And from my experience, I believe it would be extremely difficult to turn her situation into a positive one. But that's just my opinion. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please like and share. Subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.